part about finances sounds complex to me. What if the parties find dealing with these aspects challenging?
That's a common issue, common dynamic that parties will find discussions around finances, mortgages, future planning challenging. And a common dynamic that is present in a lot of even well-functioning couples, not couples who are separating, is that one partner might have always taken responsibility for the finances, managed insurances, mortgages, payments, and the other party hasn't. And now you have a potential imbalance of knowledge and potentially even power between parties when they come into the mediation room with a divergence in levels of knowledge and comfort around discussions around figures. So the mediator has to use different techniques to deal with this. One of them being, first and foremost, information. So really taking the time to work with the parties through their finances in the process of financial disclosure and budgeting is really, really important. That, of course, requires a solid background knowledge on the part of the mediator on the difference between a variable rate and a fixed rate on a mortgage, and the differences between different forms of pensions, on the potential challenges of renegotiating a loan contract with a bank. So the mediator has to really work to ensure that the parties have enough information and enough understanding to be able to engage in these negotiations productively. That can mean engaging the help of outside advisors, such as the parties' legal advisors, and sometimes where the finances are complex, accountants or financial advisors as well. One issue that we've seen in Ireland a lot recently is parties who are separating in a situation where they're in financial difficulties. And there we would often bring in, or at least refer the parties to agencies such as the Money Advice and Budgeting Service, Citizens Advice, and other agencies that might help parties in working out their budget when finances are tight. But this is also where our friend, the flip chart, comes into the mediation process, and where it's really important not to underestimate the value and the importance of really pacing the mediation appropriately and setting out all the finances, and particularly the financial implications of certain proposed arrangements visually, so that the parties can see them and, if necessary, take them away and go to their solicitor. Look, this is what we're talking about at the moment. We're looking at the option of him taking over the mortgage, me getting a lump sum in 10 years' time, in return for which, I'm signing over my rights. What do you think about this? So really taking time with that aspect of the process, so parties don't feel they're being blindsided or railroaded into an arrangement or agreement they don't understand because they're uncomfortable with finances.
So this sounds a little bit like the notion of reality testing. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. Reality testing, fact checking is very important. One tricky juncture of the family mediation process can be where we get to a point of financial disclosure and one party is saying, well, I don't believe it. I don't believe what's being disclosed here. I think he has more money, or I think she has another account in another bank. And that is where the mediation process might need to even sometimes be paused in order for legal disclosure or discovery proceedings to take place. But first and foremost, both parties have to understand exactly what's in the pot, if you like, what's in the collective financial pot. So they can then formulate opinions or ideas or proposals on how that pot is distributed going forward. And yes, that's where reality checking then comes in, and reality checking involving professionals sometimes to say, look, this is a good idea, or no, that's not going to work because a bank will never agree to that arrangement.